Hey everybody, I am coming making this video message and I want to let you know that everything is not supposed to be talked about. Let me say this again. Everything is not supposed to be talked about. I am going to give you all the scripture, but before I give you the scripture, let me tell you guys something. Every thought that comes to your mind, every feeling that you have, every situation that comes up does not merit you to discuss it. It does not warrant you to talk about it or put everything on the table. A lot of people do believe, and you may be one of these people, who believe that every single thing that you feel, every single thing that you think, and every single thing that goes on, whether it's behind closed doors or out in the open, a lot of people believe that all of those things and feelings and emotions are supposed to be discussed. And it's just not a fact. Because if you speak on something in the wrong season, at the wrong place, at the wrong time, and the wrong ears hear what you're saying or what you're putting before them, you can put yourself in a position of drama, of chaos, or some level of danger. You all have got to know what it means to be impulsive, because being an impulsive man or woman is not a good thing. This is why you cannot allow your feelings and your emotions to control you. This is also why the Bible tells us we have to be slow to anger, because when we are quick to react in an angry moment, we will sometimes do or say things that we regret later on. And sometimes it is not required for you to have conversations about certain things that come to you or that you think or feel, because you having an answer or an understanding or an explanation. It is sometimes in certain situations. I'm not saying this happens in every situation, but in certain situations, you get the explanation and the understanding internally. It's an internal thing, and it does not require you to speak about it. It does not require you to put it on Front Street. It does not require you to have a discussion with anybody about it. There are some things in life that you're going to go through, you're going to experience, you're going to find out, and you are searching for answers. You're trying to have understanding, especially when it comes to your relationships with people, and things kick off. So overall, you may want to talk about certain things. You may want to say, come to a point where you say, I want to call this particular person and I want to ask them something about, why they did or said this particular thing to me, or I want understanding as to why things are the way that they are with us, or I just want to speak my mind. But sometimes when certain things are inside of you and you have private thoughts, or you have private feelings and emotions about things, it still is not meant for you to talk about them. Because where you are with a situation, or where you are as far as being in a certain place, whether it be mentally, spiritually, or emotionally, you have to have the respect and you have to have the consideration that other people that you want to talk things out with, they are not where you are. And so you will walk away wounded and offended if you say, well, I want to come to you and talk about how I'm feeling on some things. I want to bring some things to you. And if you are brushed off or rejected, or the person gets angry and say, well, I don't want to talk to you about that. I don't care about that. I don't want to listen to how you feel about certain things. You will more than likely take offense to it. And this also is especially for people that you love and you care about. And you may walk away and feel like that person does not care about your emotional well-being because they don't want to talk about a certain thing when you're ready to talk about it, or they don't want to address certain things when you are ready to address them. You have got to be so confident in a place where you have to accept that every single thing that you go through in life and every single thing that you experience, things that you hear, things that you find out by accident, it is not worthy of a conversation. It is not worthy for you to make a video about it. It is not worth you going to confront somebody about it. It is not worth you losing your self-composure and control by always putting everything on Front Street because you feel like it's you keeping it real. This is what we see a lot of people do. A lot of people will say, well, I'm not a liar. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to tell people how I feel about whatever. I'm going to come at people about what it is they're doing. Because how can you have a healthy relationship, or how can you heal if you don't come to people about everything? You got to put everything on the table. That's not a fact. And I want to prove this to you all with the scripture, and it's in the book of Proverbs, and it is Proverbs 29 verse 11. When you guys get the availability, I want you to go and read it for yourself. I'm paraphrasing the scripture, but it basically says, a fool uttereth his whole mind, but a wise man, basically in a nutshell, tells it afterwards. And so you all have got to understand that a foolish person tells everything that is on their mind. A foolish person blurts out every thought, feeling, and emotion that comes to them. Please understand, my beautiful brothers and sisters, that we all have to learn to master how to control our emotions, how to control and work out our thoughts and our feelings about certain things, even when it comes to bringing our thoughts and our feelings to other people and talking about certain things at the wrong place and at the wrong time. Have you ever been caught off guard by somebody where you are in a very peaceful space? You're full of peace. You're very calm. You have nothing to complain about for that day. Nothing has angered you, and someone will come to you. It could be your spouse. It could be one of your children, maybe somebody at work, just anybody. And they will randomly come to you and lay something so weighty and heavy on your mind, and it throws off your peace for the rest of that day. Just the rest of that evening or morning or day, you are not at peace because somebody just randomly comes to you and they blurt out every single thought that they have about you or about a situation or something that they overheard or something that they found out. And so it puts you in a place where you feel obligated sometimes or pressured to deal with the issues and the concerns that this person randomly brought to you because they made a decision to utter their whole mind and you were not expecting it. So what I'm saying to you guys is you cannot be this way. You have to know how to manage your emotions. You have to know how to manage your thoughts, especially in very, very intimate relationships with people. I'm talking about friends, and especially for my beautiful married brothers and sisters out here. I know a lot of people think that when you're married, that it's okay for you to bring whatever you're thinking and feeling to your husband or your wife. And maybe for some of you all, that is how you feel and how you interact with one another. But there's going to come a time where there are certain things you know about your spouse, and there are certain things, that you feel, but you know where your spouse is mentally. You know where they are emotionally, and you know that they are just not ready to tackle a certain giant that they are facing within themselves or within themselves. You know this. They don't have to tell you. You just know over the course of the marriage how your husband or your wife operates. You've seen something kick off, and when you may have in the past tried to confront them or blurt out what you were thinking about them and the way that they do things or say things or just how they are, they didn't handle it well. And it caused them to reject you. It caused them to be cold towards you. It caused them to be standoffish. And so this is why you cannot walk around uttering your whole mind. A lot of well-known people, celebrities, and very prestigious people have been on platforms, and they have uttered their mind about their personal opinions about politicians, about religion, about people in the alphabet community, things of that nature. And they did it or said it at the wrong place or at the wrong time. And they did not have self-control. Instead of saying, well, you know what, let's hold off on this conversation until another time. Or I've got to really sit with that before I give you guys my opinion on that. I don't really think this is the time, the place, or the space to talk about that. And so they will just, for sensationalism or to be the next hot shock jock on a radio talk show or something like that, they will just utter their whole mind. And what do we see happen with these types of people? They end up getting fired. They end up getting canceled. They end up losing a lot of money, a lot of followers, and a lot of subscribers because they uttered their whole mind on a matter that was not meant to be talked about in that particular space. See, I'm all about freedom of speech. We should all be able to freely express how we feel, and we should be able to go to the people that we know are safe and that we trust to talk to them about certain things. If there is a fear that is deep within you, or there is a battle or a struggle, and you are sitting with that and you are conflicted about it, there are some things within you that are perplexing, and you have just started to find yourself in a new battle in the most rudimental state, you should be able to go to someone and tell them your thoughts and your fears. And you want to get the outside opinion of that person that you feel safe with, that you trust, and that you love, because it could be something that they tell you that actually comforts you, or it brings some level of peace and healing to you. But what I'm saying is that if there's a situation going on where emotions are high, this is a great example of what I'm about to give you all. Say you're around family and the emotions are very high. Somebody at the dinner table, or one of the kids come home, or your spouse comes home, or some type of family emergency kicks off. So the emotions are high. Everybody is angry. Some people are confused. It's a lot of banter going on. It's a lot of he said, she said. It's a lot of gossiping. It's a lot of old unhealed matters that have not yet been addressed. If you have the spotlight on you and somebody is beating you down and trying to make you come out and say, did you say that? Did you tell so-and-so that I did blah, blah, blah? Did you do this? I want to know that you do it. Tell me the truth. You still need to have your composure, and you still don't need to utter your whole mind. You may have an answer for what somebody is aggressively coming at you about, but you still need to calm down, hear all sides. Sometimes you may have to say, you know what, let's address this tomorrow. Let's come back together and talk about this next week. It all depends on what the situation is, because some things do have to be addressed right then and there. But you all get overall what I'm saying and the point I'm trying to make. Some things, guys, it is not meant for you to immediately come out and address right then and there. You have got to have the self-control, and you have to have the composure to say, we're not going to talk about this right now. I don't really want to tell you how I feel, because you're on the edge. You are loud. You are very angry. You are cursing, and you're trying to really get violent. This is not the time or place. You all already know. It doesn't take you necessarily having the gift of discernment. It's more so common sense, where you already know when somebody is very angry, and you know what they're capable of. And so if there is a time where emotions are high and there is something going on where there's some level of drama, then you already know, if you say a particular thing, even if they're pressing you to tell how you feel and tell what's on your mind, you already know it's not going to end well. It's just an internal thing that you know. You just know, like, if I really sit back and tell him or her or them how I'm really feeling about them and what I really know and what I really think and what I'm going to do to handle this situation, I already know they're about to act the fool. And so it's probably going to lead to a physical altercation. It's probably going to lead to somebody having to call the police. It's probably going to lead to this person divorcing me, breaking up with me, or ending the friendship. And so overall, guys, you never utter your whole mind. You never be a foolish person. And guess what? It takes time to master this. It takes some time, guys. This is what I love about God. What I love about the Lord is that He gives us time to grow in grace. His grace and mercy and patience over our lives. I talk about this a lot with you guys. I talk about it because it's so real. And the grace and mercy of God is so underrated. But we are allowed to grow in grace, where things that we used to do and the way we used to handle things with people, you grow in grace to where you learn, you know what? I can't speak my mind on this right now. I can't utter and blurt out all my thoughts and feelings on this matter. I used to get offended. I'm going to tell you all this before I get out of here. I used to get offended and feel like a piece of me was being stolen away, or a piece of me had to be hidden and covered up if I was not able to speak my mind on a lot of matters. And over the course of my life, I did have a lot of people come to me and say, Kiki, you got to learn how to keep certain things to yourself. You can't talk about that, sis. You doing the wrong thing. It's causing you to get real angry. It's leaving you stressed out and frustrated. And I felt like, no, I'm not gonna be phony. Just a hothead thing. I was a straight hothead. But I felt like, nah, it's a part of me that people wanna put a muzzle on me. They want to put a silencer on me. No, I'm gonna speak out about this. I'm gonna speak my mind. And I've had messages, and I still stand on the fact where you should speak your mind. You should, but not every single thing that comes to your mind, guys. It's just common sense. That's why I say this takes you learning to master what you should speak about, when you should confront certain things, when you need to be quiet about certain things, when you do need to share certain things, or when you just need to not say anything. Sometimes those are the best lessons. That is when revelation actually comes to you, when you master and learn to just be silent about certain things. When you learn to be silent, and when you learn to be very calm and very patient, and you say, I don't need to talk about that. I don't need to bring that up. I don't need to confront that person about this particular thing. I already know the answer. I already know how they're going to act. I already know what is about to come out of this situation. And it doesn't require you to say anything. So that's the video message, guys. Again, when you all get the time and the availability, go and read Proverbs 29 and 11. And I recommend the King James Version. Well, guys, it's time for me to go because I have some other things to do. The Lord willing, I will be back with another video message. If any one of you have taken offense to anything I spoke about in this video message, it's okay. It's all right. I'm not worried about it. I am not concerned because I know you will forgive me in the morning.